Dear children, we are discussing about the new kings and kingdoms in this video class. And new kings and kingdoms, several significant new dynasties rose in between the 7th to 12th centuries. Especially new dynasties like Chalukyas, Rashtrakutas, and Gurjara Pratiras emerged during this period, and also deals in this lesson about prastas, the pricing of the lot, and land grants, and as well as fighting for their wealth, especially the invasion of the Arabs like Muhammad Gor and Ghazni, as well as we are discussing about the Cholas and their administration, how Rajaraja Chola and Rajendra Chola strongly established their power in southern region. So dear students, read all the question answer and revise. Do well in the examination. All the very best. Thank you. Class 7 History, New Kings and Kingdom, Part 4. Question number 1. How did Chola temple become a hub of economic, social and cultural life? Answer. Chola temples often became the nucleus of settlement which grew around them. These were centers of crafts production. Temples were also endowed with the land by rulers as well as by others. The produce of this land went to maintain all the specialized who worked at the temple and very often lived near it. Priests, garland makers, cooks, sweepers, musician, dancer, etc. In other words, temples were not only places of worship, they were the hub of economic, social and cultural life as well. Question number 2. What were the qualifications necessary to become a member of committee of the Sabha in the Chola Empire? The qualification necessary to become a members of committee of the Sabha in the Chola Empire were: 1. They should be a owner of the land from which land revenue is collected. Number 2. They should have their own homes. Number 3. They should be between the 35 and 70 years of age. Number 4. They should have knowledge of the Vedas. Number 5. They should be well versed in administrative matters and honest. Question number 3. Write a short note on architecture of Chola period. Answer. The big temples of Thanjavur and Gangaikonda Cholapuram built by Rajaraja and Rajendra are architectural and sculptural marvelous. Chola temples often became the nucleus of settlements which grew around them. These were center of crafts production. Among the crafts associated with the temples, the making of bronze images was the most distinctive. The Chola bronze images are considered among the finest in the world. While most images were deities, sometimes images were made of devotees as well. Question number 4 describes several categories of land mentioned in Chola inscriptions. Answer. Chola inscriptions mention several categories of land. Velanvagi, land of non-Brahmana peasants proprietors. Brahmadeya, land gifted to Brahmanas. Shalabhoga, land for the maintenance of schools. And Devadana, Tirunamamattukani, land gifted to temples. Pallichandam, land donated to Jaina institution. Question number 4. What did the new dynasties do to gain acceptance? Answer. By the 7th century, there were big landlords or warrior chiefs in different regions of the subcontinent. Existing kings often acknowledged them as their subordinates or cementers. They were expected to bring gift for their kings or overlord, be present at their court and provide them with military support. Many of these new kings adopted high-sounding titles such as Maharaja, Adi Raja, Great King, Overlord of Kings. Tribhuvane Chakravartin, the Lord of Three World, and so on. However, in spite of such claims, they often shared power with their Samantas as well as with the association of the peasants, traders, and brahmanas. Question number 6. Trace out the emergence of new dynasties. Answer: the emergence of new dynasties. By the 7th century, there were big landlords or warrior chiefs in different regions of the subcontinent. Existing king often acknowledged them as their subordinate or samantas. Number two, as Samantas gained power and wealth, they declared themselves to be Mahasamantas or Kama Mahamandeleshwara and so on. Sometimes they asserted their independence from their overlord. Third, in other cases, men from the enterprising families used their military skills to carve out the kingdoms. Question number 7. Write a short note on Sultan Muhammad of Ghazni, Afghanistan. Answer: Sultan Muhammad of Ghazni. Number 1. Sultan of Muhammad Ghazni, Afghanistan ruled from 1997 to 2030 and extended control over parts of Central Asia, Iran, and the northwestern part of the subcontinent. Number 2. He raised the subcontinent almost every year. His targets were wealthy temples, including the Somnath, Gujarat. Number 3. Much of the wealth Muhammad carried away was used to create a splendid capital city of Ghazni. 4. He was interested in finding out more about the people he conquered and entrusted a scholar named Al Baruni to write an account of the subcontinent. This Arabic work, known as the Kitab al Ind, remains as an important source for a historian. He consulted Sanskrit scholar to prepare this account. Number 8. Question number 8. How did the Chola rise to power? Answer: a minor chiefly family known as Muttaraiyar held power in the Kaveri Delta. They were subordinate to the Pallava kings of the Kanchipuram, Vijayalaya, who belongs to the ancient chiefly family of the Chola from Urayur, captured the delta from the Muttaraiyar in the middle of the 9th century. He built the town Thanjavur and a temple for the goddesses Nishamba Sudini there. The successor of Vijayalaya conquered neighboring the region and the kingdom grew in size and power. The Pandya and the Pallava territories to the south and the north were made part of this kingdom. Rajaraja I, considered the most powerful Chola ruler, became a king in 1985 and expanded control over most of these areas. He also reorganized the administration of the empire. Rajaraja's son Rajendra I continued his policies and even raided the Ganga Valley, Sri Lanka, and countries of Southeast Asia, developing a navy for this expedition.